So last class, we discussed that there are three major parameters which are controlling our ultimate exposure. So one was aperture that we covered last class. Today we are going to cover shutter speed, and the next class we are going to cover ISO. Today it's only about shutter speed. So let's start. This type of photo we get when we get, as usual, night time, everything is neat and clean, and the subject is moving. We get a photo like this, blur. Similarly, we also get a photo like this when the ambient light is less, and if we are trying to click a photo, so we get everything in this blurred condition, like people who are moving blur as well as the surrounding. What is the reason? To understand this reason, we have to one more time look how this cameras, digital cameras, they work. Two videos I already shared. Today we will be having a revision of that. So this is the camera, this is the aperture, blue one. Light is entering through this. There is a mirror, it called pentaprism. So with this, we are seeing here, like this is the viewfinder. So here you see that what the camera is seeing, we see it. And here this black one is called shutter, and behind that this sensor is there. So when we click the shutter button, or in case of mobile we just touch it to get a photo, what happens? This shutter it flips, and this particular sensor is exposed to the light, and whatever the sensor is seeing, it is captured. The sensor records everything, and that recording is transferred to the memory card. So for the amount of time for which this sensor is exposed to the light is called shutter speed. The amount of time this particular sensor is exposed to the light is called as shutter speed, right? So why we are getting a picture like this? Because the sensor is exposed to the light for a particular amount of time. So in that particular amount of time, this particular subject has moved from position A to B. Now the sensor is confused. The sensor is not able to decide at which position it has to place the subject, at position A or position B. So what is the way out? The way out is the proper use of shutter speed that we are going to learn in this particular class, right? Like aperture, we are going to start with how this shutter speed is represented. It is represented like this, a fraction of second. 1 by 500 means if we divide the 1 second into 500 portion, so that we get 1 by 500. So we call it like this, 1/500th of a second. Similarly, 1/250th of a second. Similarly, 1 by 1/25th of a second. So this is last one half of a second. So this is how we represent shutter speed. So in first case means the photo is captured or the sensor is exposed to the light for 1/250 of a second. So which is a very fraction of a time, right? So as we understand that it is a fraction of a second, so when this time is longer, we call it slow shutter speed. Here it is. We'll understand the meaning of these photos. For the timing, we'll just understand the convention. So when this time is more, we call it slow shutter speed. And when the time is less, we call it fast shutter speed, or we call it faster shutter speed. So this particular number we have to see. 1 by something, this is our point of interest. So when this number is more, we call it faster shutter speed. So faster shutter speed means actual time is very less. And this 1 by 2, we call it slower shutter speed. So what is happening when the sensor is exposed to the light for half of a second? So in half of a second, the subject is moving from position A to B. So what we are getting? We are getting a blur photo like this. But when the sensor is exposed to the light for only 1 by 500 of a second, that is a very fraction of a second. So within that period, the subject is not able to move. So we are getting a perfect photo, right? So that is the meaning of shutter speed. When this number is more, we call it faster shutter speed. When this number is less, when the subject is exposed, the sensor is exposed for a long time, we call it slower shutter speed. So two things are happening. One thing is that it is controlling the movement. It is giving us one way so that we can arrest the movement in a particular frame. And one more thing, it is also controlling when the time is more, like 1 by 2 of a second, because the sensor is exposed to the light for quite some time, so more amount of light is captured, whereas the sensor is exposed for a very fraction of a time, like 1 by 2/50th of a second. So the amount of light that is captured is less. We can see it like 1 by 250. See, amount of light is less, darker photo we are getting. We are switching to 1 by 1250. Photo is darker but still lighter than the previous one. Similarly, when we are shifting to 1 by 60, 1 by 30, we can see that amount of light that is captured is more. Like for 1 by 2, see the difference, and 1 by 250, the photo is darker. 1 by 2, the photo is much more lighter, overexposed. So these concepts first we have to understand. 1 by 500 of a second, we are calling it as fast shutter speed or faster shutter speed. So we are getting a photo which is crystal clear, because in that fraction of a second, the subject is not able to move. So we are not getting a blur photo. Whereas a shutter speed like 1 by 2, we are calling it slower shutter speed, in that the subject is moving and sensor is not able to decide where to place the subject. So we are getting a photo which is blur, because for a single subject, we are getting multiple copies of it. Sensor is not able to decide where to put. We are getting a blur photo. Intermediate shutter speed, we are getting neither too much crisp, neither too much blur. So this is the small concept we have to understand. If we are thorough with this concept, rest of the things are very easy. So this we'll understand one more time. 1 by 500 fraction of a second, we are calling it as faster shutter speed. It is arresting the motion in a frame. 1 by 2, we are calling it slower shutter speed, and we are getting a blur photo. Because the amount of time is very less for faster shutter speed, we are getting darker photo, and because the amount of time is more for slower shutter speed, we are getting brighter photo. Where we can use it? Let us say some waterfall is there. When we are using a very faster shutter speed like 1 by 1000, see, each and every droplet is captured here with 1 by 1000. In case we are moving to some slower shutter speed like 1 by 125, what we are getting? Water droplets now has become a bit smoother. Even 1 by 250, see, it is even smooth. And for 1 by 15 of a second, it is very smooth. So what type of effect we want in a particular frame or photo, depending upon that, we are going to select or use the shutter speed. See this photo, this particular kid. Normally what we face, if we are trying to capture photo of a particular kid, they will be moving like anything. So if we try to take a photo with auto mode, where the camera is trying to select the shutter speed for us, the shutter speed that the camera is selecting will not be appropriate. It may be slower, and with the slower shutter speed, what we get, we normally get a blur photo. So what we have to do, we have to select a very fast shutter speed. In this case, 1/250 second is used as a shutter speed. So what we are getting? We are getting a crystal clear photo of the kid. So similar situation where the subject is moving, we have to go for a faster shutter speed. We'll see some more example. Like my favorite of shooting, stage performance. See this particular dancer, she was moving on the stage like anything, and this photo is captured with a shutter speed of 1/400 of a second. Same thing, 1/400 of a second, and we are getting a photo which is crystal clear and not blur at all. Same thing you try with auto mode, you will be getting a very blur photo which is not usable. Same, 1/400 of a second. Whenever I shoot any stage performance, I shoot with a shutter speed of 1/400 of a second. High action force, it requires even further shutter speed, like 1/400 will also not be enough. Something like that 1/800, 1/1200 of a second will do. If you want to shoot any type of force activity, you have to use a shutter speed something like 1/1200 of a second, 1/1000 of a second. All these photos are example of how to use faster shutter speed to arrest movement in a frame or photo. Prisha was asking in some previous class, she is more interested in bird photography, so she will be knowing that to capture this type of high action sequence or high action photo, we need a very faster shutter speed. Even 1200, 1300, 1600 will do. So something like 1/2000, 1/1600 we have to use to get a photo like this. See all these example of a faster shutter speed. In the reverse way, let us say I don't want to capture each and every frame, but I want a smooth effect. See this type of photo, if we normally see the beach, this water will not be this type of smooth. So what we can do, we can do the in the reverse way. We can go for a slower shutter speed, so that will give us this type of effect. So this photo is shoot with a shutter speed of 1/5 of a second, just 1/5. That earlier we were discussing about slower shutter speed. So this is one example of how slower shutter speed can be used to achieve the desired effect. Similarly, this particular photo is taken in a dark park, and if you use a very slower, faster shutter speed, something like 1/125, 1/200 of a second, so what you get is a very dark photo. Last class also we are discussing, when the aperture is something like f16 or f22, the photo was becoming very dark. So for that, what we have to use? We have to use some slower shutter speed, something like 1/2 seconds, or even if something like 1/ something is not enough, then we can go for something like 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 8 seconds, which is called as long exposure or longer exposure, to get a photo like this. Like in dark area, landscape, you are shooting, the that aperture that you are setting is something like 1/16. So what will be your shutter speed? Something like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, like that. This particular photo is taken with a shutter speed of 3 seconds. But with 3 seconds, what will be the problem? Like your hand, you cannot make your hand steady for 3 seconds. So normally you get a blur photo. To avoid that, what we have to do? We have to use a tripod. Like if you are using some camera or phone, you have to stabilize it with the help of a tripod. In case tripod is not available, you can put your camera on some tabletop or something like some stone brick, so that there is no movement in terms of your camera or your phone, and your camera is going to take the exposure for minimum of 2 seconds or 3 seconds, so that you get a crystal clear view of the night landscape. So all these photos, these are landscape photos. See, the aperture is f22 and shutter speed, you see, it is a 13 second. 13 second, it is not 1/13, it is 13. So the shutter speed that is used here is 13 second, which is much longer. We call it as long exposure. So all this type of photos is completely reverse of what we were discussing earlier. At that time, it was something like 1/400, 1/1250, something like that. But in this case, if you want to capture a photos like that, you have to use a very longer shutter speed, something like 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds. But you need a tripod for that. In case if you are not having any tripod, stabilize your phone with some sort of support, table, brick, anything will do. All these things, this smooth water effect can be achieved with a very long shutter speed or slower shutter speed, we can call it. With the help of shutter speed, you can even get a very creative photos like this. You have to go for a longer shutter speed or slower shutter speed, but only natural light will not do this. If you want to take this type of photo, some external light like use of flash or strobe is also required. But with the help of shutter speed only, you can achieve this type of creative photos. How to use it for camera user? Obviously, you are having two modes. One is this S mode. Here it is S mode, where you can set the shutter speed. So in S mode, what happens? You set the shutter speed, the aperture is decided by the camera. Whereas there is manual mode where you can select both shutter speed as well as the aperture. In case we can see it 1/125. So it's the shutter speed that is set for this particular photo. And if you check the camera backside of it, this dial will be there, where you can change the shutter speed that you are selecting for this for a particular frame or photo. If you don't have access to the camera, you are shooting only with your mobile, so every mobile will have something called sports mode. If you select sports mode, what the mobile will try, it will try to give you the fastest possible shutter speed for the particular frame. Like bike is moving, it will select the shutter speed to something. If you are trying to capture some bird, it will try to give you a faster shutter speed than the earlier. So depending upon the situation, you can try to use this sports mode, you get a better result than the auto mode. As usual, we will have a very small assignment for this. Two photos you have to post one photo for the faster shutter speed so that you can arrest the movement, and second photo for the slower shutter speed, which you can try in taking some photos in the dark room or maybe some dark area, dark rooftop, dark park, whatever you feel like that. In both the cases, you have to mention the shutter speed that is being used. Like for fastest shutter speed, what is the speed? For slower, what is the shutter speed that you are going to use, that you have to mention. So that was the class from my side. I will do a very quick recap for you. There is something called shutter, which is controlling how much time this sensor will be exposed to the light. This time is known as shutter speed. It is represented with a fraction of second normally. When it is representing something like that, when this value is more, we call it faster shutter speed. When this value is less, something like 1/2, we call it slower shutter speed. Two significance it is having. One is for arresting motion or movement, where we are using a faster shutter speed, something like 1/500. And the next significance is because it is defining for how much time the sensor will be exposed to the light. So when the shutter speed is faster, the amount of light is less, and when the shutter speed is slower, the amount of light is more. And we have seen how to apply it for either arresting motion or movement or for a long exposure. So this was the objective of shutter speed, and this was the class. From your side, if you are having any doubt on shutter speed, will be answering now. So if anyone is having any doubt, just Prisha, you can unmute yourself.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, sir, with regards to this class, so that means like if I want to do bird photography and all, and so obviously the shutter speed would have to be even higher. So it can be 1/2000 or so. But sir, you said that the higher the shutter speed, less amount of light enters the camera. So, like, let's say I want to click a photo, but it's a bird photo, but I need to have a higher shutter speed. But if the light enters less, won't the photo appear dark? Because it will be the same issue that we had when we were doing aperture, right? Because you said that less light, more depth of field. So same if I want to click a photo of a bird, it has to be proper, but I want light to be there so the colors can be shown. So what do I do in that case?
Yes, true. For a ideal condition, bird photography needs a type of lens which will give you a faster shutter speed as well as a higher aperture or bigger aperture. So let us say if you have set the aperture to f8, and if you are setting the shutter speed to something like 1/1600, what will happen? You get a dark photo. So for that, what you have to do, you have to increase your aperture to the maximum possible one, like whatever biggest possible aperture supported by your lens should be enough. Because if we consider the depth of field, just to capture the bird, depth of field is not required much. So whatever biggest possible aperture is possible for you, something like 1/8, 2.0, 2.8, so that value you have to set for your aperture. Let us say if you have select the maximum possible aperture, and with that also for something like 1/800 or 1/1200 or 1/1600, you are getting a dark photo. So there is a third parameter called ISO. You can go for some higher value, right? So in that case, what will happen? With a bigger aperture, with appropriate shutter speed, and with the appropriate value of the ISO, you will get perfect exposure. So when we discuss ISO, things will be clear for us. For the time being, you know that you select first the appropriate shutter speed that you want. After that, you set the maximum possible aperture for your lens that it is supporting. It should be fine for you. In case if you are not getting, you go for the third parameter, which is called as ISO. With that, your problem will be solved. Is
Okay,
it?
sir. So I had another doubt. I understood this.
Huh.
Sir, when you gave us an aperture assignment, I had a doubt why I couldn't send, because like when I was doing it in my camera, F value was showing like 13, 14, 22 and all. What does that mean? Because in the previous class, you had told us like different F value like f/1.42, f/8.0. But like in my camera, when I was doing it, I saw 13, 14. I couldn't understand what it was.
That is why only the number is significant, right? Only the number significant. It is not like that f/13 you need not remember, you just only remember the number. Like Canon camera, they represent it some other way. Nikon camera, they will be representing it some other way. Sony camera, they will be representing it with some other way. So that
So then what does that mean, f/13?
you just remember 13 is for 13 is doing for you, like 1.2, 1.8, 2.8, this number only is significant, right? Whether it is f by something or only f13, these things are immaterial, the number is significant.
So then the like okay, I understood the number is significant. So my Nikon camera was showing that. It was not showing in like how you had shown us 2.0 or 2.8. So what does that mean when it says that it's showing f 5.3 or f 13? What does that mean exactly? 13. What does 13 stand for here?
13, see, aperture are represented with certain value, right? So
Yes, sir.
when we say 1.8, so it is nothing but one particular aperture value, one particular optical value that is represented with 1.8. Let us say I have a lens, in that I have set aperture 1.8. So physically means the lens will try to open with its maximum, and that value is represented with 1.8. What is the next aperture? It is 2.0. So when the value is 2.0, so earlier it was 1.8. So half of that will be open now, and it will call as 2.0. Right? So similarly,
Yes.
when we call it 2.8, so it will open now even half. So whatever earlier opening was 2, half of that is now represented with 2.8. So similarly, in this way, 13 will have some sort of opening. So that opening is represented with the value 13. Now,
Okay, so it refers camera to camera.
no, it's not like, it depends upon manufacturer to manufacturer. Like 1.8 is having some standard opening. So Nikon will try to give you the standard opening, what is equivalent to 1.8. Similarly, Canon will also try to provide you the same type of opening with 1.8. Right? So 1.8 is nothing but a standard opening in the lens. So similarly, 13 means a certain amount of opening is there in that particular lens. Is it clear,
Okay.
Prisha?
Alright. Yes, sir. It's clear. So, but like you were showing us, like in the camera, like if we can set the mode to A aperture or M for manual. But if we're just starting off and we do A, how do we change the aperture? Because you had told us where the off on button is. Below that, there might be this. You can change the aperture, but since my camera doesn't have that, so how do I then change it?
No, what is the camera you are using?
I'm
50,
using Nikon D5200.
5200, right?
Yes, sir.
It is having that aperture you have to change the back side only.
Okay, the where we change for our shutter speed over there only.
See, I have just 8 minutes. I'll just show you. Just hold on this call. I don't know if it is visible in this camera or not. If it is visible to you, this red marker is there, right? It will be there with 5200 also. Krisa, you can unmute yourself and you can just answer. This red is there.
Yes, sir.
So it will be there for your camera also. Here one knob is there. Just up.
So that is not there in my camera. That's why I had an issue.
Okay, then there will be some other knob using which you can change it.
Okay, sir. I will do that. I will do that.
In case if you are not able to do it, just give me a ring. Give me a ring. I will tell you how to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
Just
you,
give
sir.
me a ring. I will do it. But yes, there will be a dedicated button even with 5200 also to change the aperture, because it is a very basic feature and it will have that facility. In case, I think 5200 is having a touchscreen facility.
No, sir. It doesn't
Okay,
have.
then there will be a dedicated button. In case if it is not there, there is a particular settings which we can change so that a particular button will be used for setting a particular aperture.
Yes, sir.
And
Okay,
aperture
sir.
is also the property of a particular lens. So first you have to check whatever lens you are having, whether that support the aperture 1.8 or not, right? Your lens may be supporting a aperture which starts from 3.2 or 4.0 or 5.6. So in that case, you will be not able to set the aperture to 1.8. Like the lens that I am using here, if you can see it, it is a prime lens. It is supporting aperture of 1.8. So because my lens supports, so I can set the aperture to 1.8. In case it is not supporting, so I will not be able to set the aperture to 1.8. If you are doing bird photography, so mostly you will have a zoom lens which may not be supporting 1.8. So that also you clarify. Just let me know what is the lens you are using. So I will come back to you. I will tell you whether that particular lens will support that much aperture or not.
Okay, sir. Will do. Yes, sir.
Fine, then just let me know. Let me know. I will be answering. Anyone else, if they are asking anything on shutter speed or anything else? In chat box, nothing is there. No one else is raising your hand. I have another 5 minutes. So fine, then I will be posting this particular assignment to the group. So no further queries. Fine, then bye. Good night. I'll be posting the assignment to the group. Anything if you want, you just come back to me, and I will not be sharing these videos directly on YouTube. Anyone want a particular recording, just let me know. I will share with that video with him or her through YouTube, but through a private link. Just let me know.